luckily for me, my granddad had spent quite a bit of his youth fishing on the canals and rivers and whatnot. So from the age of maybe 3 or 4, I would go out with my granddad down to the rivers in East Sussex, primarily because we had a caravan down there. So we would go and have great weekends of exploring and adventure down by the river. For me, that was the most amazing thing, because I'd never really seen that many trees or basic things of nature, being a city boy. So, yep, Granddad's the one to thank. He started the sort of the bug, because it is a disease. There's no denying it. It's an obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm sure everybody out there who's into it understands exactly what I'm saying. And yeah, I think, I started off coarse fishing, roach, perch, all the coarse fare, playing on the rivers, which was a great way to start in a way. Carp came into my life like it has for many people, I should imagine, fishing for sort of smaller species, and they pick up the bait as well, and this one did. And I had a waggler rod, a Drenham waggler rod, and kind of little reel, and I was fishing for crucian carp and tench primarily. Fishing with little bits of luncheon meat, and I was just watching my waggler, and I was in a bit of a daze. I remember being sort of slightly going off, and just watching the float. It was like Jaws, just going, it didn't even shoot under, just went under. When I picked up the rod, the thing bent so fully that the varnish sort of, in places that you'd never had it. It was a rod that had never had that sort of compression. So, needless to say, I didn't know what to do with it. It sent me all over the place, and I only had light line on, and I didn't have my clutch set properly, and all those things, all those schoolboy errors, and it broke off, and I was absolutely devastated. I was intrigued. I was, what was that? How could it do that? And I wanted to know more about it, and I think that's, that was the beginning of the kind of pursuit into carp fishing. I worked in a carp, not in a carp shop, in a tackle shop in South East London, in Woolwich. So I'd work in there, be the maggot boy on the weekends, and the general kind of gopher around the shop. And this would have been, in the early 80s. So carp fishing was very secret squirrels. Everyone kept themselves and their recipes and their rigs and everything very under the radar and very secret. So it was an unbelievable mystery again. If you don't know these things, you're pulled into it even more, because you too want to be catching carp of upper doubles and 20s in them days. They were the fish that they were big fish. Big carp, hard to catch. I suppose that's the beauty of carp fishing, is that you're always learning, and when you understand all these little things and these big rigs and baits and all these things, and applying them all together, that's a process that takes time. And that's what puts everybody on the same level. Don't matter who you are or what you do, if you're into fishing, you have to go through the process, and you learn, sometimes by your mistakes, a lot of times by your mistakes. But then that makes you want to do it even more. That's the pursuit, that's the beauty of it. And I must admit that as I've got older, I've probably got even worse. I always kind of kept my oar in with fishing. Even if I was away in America, I'd go and fish in Florida, and go and fish for tarpon, and amazing fishing. So it's not just carp fishing. I love all styles of fishing, but I must admit that carp fishing is by far my favourite. So yeah, it brings me pretty much up to present day, where the last 10 years or 15 years since I've got right back into it, I had a family and did my travelling and all those things that take up your time. Once I got all that settled, fishing was there again, and it always is. That's the beauty of it. I think if you love it like I do, and I know a lot of my friends and people around me do, it's one of those things that I look to the future and think, I don't worry about getting old, because actually if I get less time to work and more time to go fishing, that is a top bonus. So happy days. So I'm looking forward to getting older in a way,